Let's dive into something pretty cool today. We're talking LLMs.
LLMs.
Yeah, those large language models. You know, the things that are powering these chatbots.
Oh, okay, got it. Like ChatGPT and all of that.
Right, ChatGPT, Bard, all those things. They're writing poems, they're translating languages. Heck, they're even coding now.
It is pretty wild.
It is wild. But here's the thing. How do we really know what they can do? Like, especially when it comes to something as complex as math, right? How do we actually measure how smart they're getting?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's one thing to say, like, oh yeah, this AI is good at math, but how do you actually prove that?
Exactly.
Well, that's where the idea of benchmarking comes in.
Benchmarking.
Yeah, think of it like an obstacle course, but specifically designed for AIs.
Okay.
We give them these standardized tests, and we see how well they perform, and just as importantly, we track how they're improving over time.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not enough to just say they're getting better at math. We need to actually put them to the test. And that's where things get really interesting today.
Yeah.
Because we're diving into a brand new benchmark called MathGP.
MathGP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
I have heard of this.
So what makes MathGP so fascinating is it's designed to evaluate how well LLMs can actually reason mathematically. It goes beyond just memorizing formulas.
Right.
It's about whether they can actually understand the logic behind the math, the why behind the what.
It's getting into that higher level thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're not just testing if an AI can solve for X, we're testing if it can think like a mathematician.
Right.
That's cool.
It is.
So how does MathGP actually do that?
Well, one of the key innovations is its focus on what we call out-of-distribution tasks.
Out of distribution.
Out of distribution.
Right.
So imagine you're an LLM and you spent weeks, training on thousands and thousands of algebra problems.
Right.
You're acing every equation they throw at you.
You got this.
Yeah. You're feeling good. And then MathG comes along and throws you a curveball.
A curveball, huh?
Yeah. It's like, okay, here's a geometry problem you've never seen before.
Oh, wow.
So this is testing your ability to apply your reasoning skills to a completely new situation, something outside of your usual training data.
So it's kind of like you're training for a marathon on a flat track, and then suddenly you're asked to run a mountain trail. You've got to adapt, use different muscles, right?
Exactly. And MathGAP takes it even further with something called proof depth, width, and complexity.
Proof depth, width, and complexity.
It's like adjusting the difficulty sliders in a video game, Like, researchers can make the math problems more complex, they can add more steps, they can require deeper logical thinking,
Wow.
and really pinpoint where these LLMs start to struggle.
Oh, that's fascinating. That level of detail is incredible. It really feels like we're moving past those simple pass-fail tests and into a much deeper understanding of what these AIs are capable of.
It is. And it's important to remember that MathGAP is just one piece of the puzzle. I mean, there's a whole world of benchmarks out there, each focusing on a different aspect of AI.
Really?
Yeah, for example, remember how we were talking about LLMs writing code earlier?
Yeah.
Well, there's a benchmark called CodeMind that's specifically for evaluating how well AIs understand and reason about code. It's like a coding exam, but for AI.
Oh, that's so interesting. So it's like we're building this detailed map of AI capabilities, right? Not only seeing what they can do, but also where their strengths and weaknesses lie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. And, as these benchmarks become more sophisticated, it really makes you think about what this all means for the future.
Yeah, it does make you think, where do we go from here? I mean,
Yeah.
We're talking about AI that can reason at a high level, even in a field as abstract as math. What are the implications of that? I mean, what do you think? What do you think for people listening out there?
That's the big question, right? What does it mean? Like, what does the increasing sophistication of these AI benchmarks tell you about the trajectory of artificial intelligence?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely something to ponder, right?
Lots to think about.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with me.
You got it. Anytime.
This was really interesting.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. Always fascinating to see where AI is headed.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See you later.